Hello.
Kim, hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. John. Hello, everyone.
I believe there's only one person, at least on my end, that had notified that they're not going to be in the meeting today. It was Aya. I'm not sure if anybody else messaged anybody about their absence today, but we'll see. Let me message the rest of the group and see if they're gonna join us today.
Okay. Yeah, nobody messaged me. Um,
Is Kendra doing okay now? Has she been able to attend the meetings or the other ones?
Mohammed,
Yes, Mr. John. No, actually, Kendra was talking about like she might attend the meetings, some of them, but she still have like the surgery that she had. So,
Okay, I was just wondering because I didn't want to message her and just just want to make
mm,
sure that she is that that's still going on or whatever. With Safe, we haven't heard anything from him, right?
no,
Okay.
no. I think I asked Mohammed to reach out to him because Saif is based in Alexandria in Egypt.
Yeah. Okay. I think I messaged most people. Oh, Arsim is going to join us too. Um, who else? Daniela, probably not. But I think that's it. I think Arsim is going to attend soon, so we can probably get started. And I see that we have Sandeep joining us today.
Yeah, I'm Sandeep from the design team. I'm
Design team.
here to show a new product we're working on to the Mood Changer team.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful. Nice meeting you. Maybe
Um,
we can get started with that, Sandeep, if you don't mind. I would love to see
sure,
what you guys have got going on.
sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Sandeep. Yeah, if you want to explain what everyone's looking at.
So Flowbrain is a all-in-one tool, or like Flowbrain OS that we're working on. It replaces all other tools, mostly Discord, Notion, and Toggle. You can have everything right here, right from your chatting with your teams, managing tasks, documents, reports, and we'll have buddies in the future when we have our expert AIs, one for travel, finance, legal, and health. On your right, you just go ahead and chat with that, and your time tracking right here. Just choose your task and start. The dashboard will have three views. One is a default, which is a little cluttered, has everything right there, and one's focus. If you're working on a specific task, or if you're just chatting with the AIs, and a custom, you could choose how you want it to look. And then on the left panel, you'll have direct links to all the tools that we have for Figma, Cursor, Notion. And for team leads, there's a mission control panel. You could track all your projects, your team members, see what they're working on, assign them tasks, view their hours, their earnings, and their impact. So yeah, that's basically it.
Um,
I'm sorry, can you show where you can go between the 4 or 5 different UIs?
Yeah, after the design team's feedback, John, where they said it looked a little flat, I made it into three. One's the default, it has everything right there. And one's focus, it takes out all the extra stuff out and just shows you what's needed. Like, I think most of them will be working, chatting with AI and stuff, so this focus on that. And then custom is how if they don't like what art presets, they could just choose what they want, a custom one through here.
Okay, I see what you did. So you changed it from 5 to 3.
Yeah. A
Okay,
couple of
okay.
them were really similar in the old one, so I removed that and made like three which are very different.
Mhm. Well, two that are very different because the custom is
Yeah,
that one would just they customize the whole thing, right?
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks for the clarification. I'm sorry. Um, Tim.
oh yeah. It looks so good. Like, it seems like it has everything in one place. Is this operational now? Is everybody
No,
not yet? This is just like the pilot thing.
this is just the design. We'll
Mm,
start building it now.
I see. And I see that Flowbrain Health is also on here. Of course, with Flowbrain ready, everything's going to be fully functional. So this is really interesting. And also, I like the customization part just because, some people may not like, whoever wanted to use certain things, or probably they're not necessarily using certain features, they can easily hide it away. So it's really functional and very customizable. So I like that option right there. How does the time tracking work? Um, that's just a design for now, right? But how, like,
Yeah.
okay. Are we,
The idea is to like make it automated, if it's possible. Like just log in here and the time tracking starts, and the AI also analyzes what they've been working on and makes a report based on that.
I see. And also, can you go back to the team leads? I think that's dashboard. You click
Yeah.
the button right there. Okay. I'm just checking something. So the progress bars for each of the, aspect in here, they basically just show the overall progress that people has completed their task. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how would there's like subtasks on each, like they can just choose what they've finished on. So it
Mm-hmm.
will take that into account and then show it here.
I see. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's pretty functional. I think this will definitely eliminate like having multiple things like every intern had to use just because we have Toggle or FloLabs Chronos at one point. Um and then we have Notion, of course. Notion is still something we need to use because that's where we typically document everything. I
Mm.
guess we just need to find a way to kind of like connect um Notion to this just so that we have the ability to track time and also coordinate that with the specific tasks that that specific intern is completing. Um, Claudia, you have your hand raised. Do you have any?
Yes, I wanted to see if you could show like what type of tabs we would be able to customize, or like what is it that we would be able to move around?
Oh, yeah. So initial idea is this: some want videos, you don't want rooms, and your scores or progress or buddies.
And so that's like where we can turn it on and off and see it, but are we able
Yeah.
to move the area, like move stuff around on the actual interface?
Yeah, yeah, that could be one tool. Like we talked about it in the last design meeting where, it starts with an empty dashboard and you could populate it how you want it. That could be done too.
Where was that customized cockpit button at?
No, that we're still working on it. That's also an idea that we have.
Okay.
Was this built through Stitch or what did you guys use for building this? Just out of curiosity.
Or just HTML through Claude design. This is just the front end design. It's not a working, like there's no back end to it.
Okay, no worries. I was just curious. Yeah, I mean, like so far with the interface and also just the overall functionality. I think I guess when you are familiar with how things work with the Flow Labs, or at least the projects that we're working on, how we keep track of things, um, it is pretty usable. It's pretty, straightforward in some ways, but um, but that's the reason why we have that customization feature right there that allows like people to learn one thing at a time or just they depending on how they want to see or view it, it helps a lot. And then also quick question on the left side here, there is Muhammad, I guess, his lives. I know that's just a design, but like is that specific for the buddy system where um or what is this about, like this left hand side right here?
Uh, this that was John's idea for video first approach
Okay,
that we're doing. You could, yeah, mainly for buddies, you could just log in, connect with others, join a room, and work together.
I see. Okay, so it's basically just like a small video conference right there, and then you can keep
Yeah.
working on the task as normal. Does it show, for example, if you're in a team meeting with a buddy, or does it allow you to share screens with each other? How does that work? Or this is just like to talk?
just to talk. I mean, sharing screen is still something complex, and we need to figure that out with the development team.
Okay.
But for now, it's just talking.
Okay. I was just wondering. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
But
the idea is to replace Discord with this and have our AI in this, so it's kind of merging Discord and our AI uh, communication tools. So yeah, I think the over time, I mean, it would replace Zoom, so we wouldn't have to use Zoom. It would record our meetings, transcribe our meetings, host the recordings. So we would just move away from Zoom and read AI. And yeah, and then the buddy system, I mean, the travel buddies and all those buddies are really kind of vertical integration. If you look at, there's probably dozens now of venture funded legal AIs. Harvey AI, which has raised almost $1 billion. They're almost all of them are B2B, but so maybe in our legal buddy, my thinking was, okay, we can integrate some of them have APIs, so we could integrate them into the legal buddy on the back end. Maybe integrate multiple them or multiple legal buddies, or potentially have our own that does, like, with something with guardrails. It just does basic things like if you want to sell your car, or you want to simple agreements, a will, things that people like. What are the top 10 use cases for agreements, let's say, and that are pretty kind of global? Maybe we just figure that out ourselves, and then but the the health buddy, the other things like a design buddy, for example, although you have these on the left-hand side, Sandeep, with Notion, and my thinking was all of those tools that we have on the left, they're actually integrated in the buddies. So our PM buddy you click on it, and at the top there would be Notion and any other project management tools that, say, our customers are using, or people that are using the Flowbrain could easily add just as links. And then so there's the links. It's like an AI within an AI. Maybe you have the links on the side when you click on that, and then you can have your chat, so you can talk to it, or you can click on one of the links and use it and go just link off to those other apps. Yeah, because I think to me that's what I would feel more user friendly if we create those links underneath each one of these buddies based on what they are.
Okay.
Yeah, Kim, that's what I wanted to kind of just add to what we've tried to do here.
it looks good, like the idea itself, and just, having at least the front end working on it first, just because it makes sense to see what it looks like and how it actually works. Like if you were because the interns are actually going to use it, so it'd be really helpful to see visually like how that actually plays out. So this is really helpful to have those multiple aspects, and also like, you know, what is it, separating each teams and also like the other sub teams to allow for easy accessibility. But other than that, it looks good. Good job, design team.
The health buddy is what we would focus on in this team. So when you click on health buddy, or it could potentially be athlete buddy, could be another one. You know, what's going to be under the hood? What do we want as far as, like, so the health buddy, of course, or the sensors, the stuff, or we want to have a way on Health Buddy where you can upload your your medical records, let's say, and you have aggregate all your health related stuff into the Health Buddy. Um,
I have a quick question. So this whole thing, it's not just for for our own usage. It's also going to be I guess, the design for the Flowbrain when we start incorporating Health Buddy. Okay, all of them. Okay, I see the nods. Um, so is it going to look exactly the same for our customers as well?
No, a little different.
A little
This we're
different.
starting it out based on how we want. Since we're using Discord and Notion and Toggle,
Right.
we've customized it to replace that. But for customers, we'll have a different version. Businesses will have a different version.
Okay. Yeah, I figured that might be the case because yeah, from our perspective, this is what we work on, but for whoever is going to, use our platform, then they would have a completely different dashboard for sure. Because for the Health Buddy or for sports related for the API, the one that we've been talking about for a couple months
Mm.
that should look a little different from here, but as you said, this is just to show what we are capable of when from the design aspect. So thanks for clarification. So that really helps. Thank you.
we want to use this, I mean, for ourselves, right? We're our own customer. We want to just like Slack. The when Slack was developed, it was developed as an internal tool, and for the company that was they pivoted because they saw Slack, that tool that they developed was a better idea than what they were doing. So they shut down their business and they just focused on Slack. Um, and this is kind of the same. I mean, we want to use this as our own internal tool. And these features can be turned on or off. So all the buddies on the right may not be there based on your login. So if you log in, um, what are you going to have? Or if we're going to, our plan is to target the corporate market, SMEs, maybe the sweet spot, all the AI companies, they're targeting the Fortune 1000 and the top companies, from an enterprise standpoint. So that sweet spot for us, probably nobody's communicating with, say, companies that maybe 100 employees or less. And so as we sell our enterprise version, what are they going to want? And then it's all kind of customized. They might not want the time tracking tools, right? So that will be hidden. Everything will be able to turn on or off on a login by login basis. So if they don't, I mean, for like Discord, I mean, we may have, the video and chat for everyone and the AI for everyone. That may be standard, or maybe they want to hide it I mean, they can hide it anyway. So, yeah, so I'm not sure what, like what some companies might want or not want, but yeah, as we develop, we'll just turn on features and functionality on a customer by customer basis, or maybe some of them will be turned on for all customers. Um, just like the other AI companies do, but mm,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there will be companies out there that will see the value in this, especially how dynamic and interactive the whole concept of it all. But it really is helpful to, if we solidify everything and clean up all of the loose ends, this will definitely be a useful tool for any companies, not just for us. It could be definitely used by other companies too. Just because from like at least from my perspective, working for the company I'm currently hired for, Yeah, their system is, yes, it's used a lot, but it is hard to have multiple things that I have open in order for me to communicate with the rest of the team, working on the documentation, all these things. So if we could have it in one place, that would be definitely eliminate a lot of other things to work out about. But yeah, that's just an opinion. Anyone else have any other thing that they wanted to share about the work that the design team have put out here? Anybody?
Sally, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I actually like the design, but I actually have something to say like in my mind. So at the bottom there's a button like start new room. So if I start a new room, for example, for a project that me and my buddy were working on, will it be like visible to everyone or only us? So is there a way to just hide it from some other users, or
Yeah.
will it be accessible to everyone?
No, I don't think so. Privacy is the main thing, so it will only be visible to you. Like, if you don't want other teams be in your chat, yeah, you can definitely limit it.
So there will be kind of a settings to just set these things up, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah. In the main screen, I have seen like in conversation. So it will be kind of a reg application, right? So we are going to just feed the data for FloLabs. So like the data from Notion and some tasks and so on, teams and information. So we can just chat with our data in the main screen.
yeah, you can. AI chat is the first tab there, and yeah, you can definitely do that.
And can we also automate like test creation, maybe like some other automations like in this chat? So when I prompted like create a task for, let's say, Flow Health Kit, then will it just automatically create a task on the dashboard, or only it will be on like readable?
I don't think we have the automation yet. This is still the design. Yeah, once we have the development running, we can look into that.
Actually, we can also use FlowClaw in the chat as well. So like we can just connect to it.
Hmm?
We can actually connect FlowClaw as well to this dashboard. So in this main
Flow,
screen and AI chat, it will just use FlowClaw.
Flow Cloud?
Why? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure
He says
about
he
that.
says flow claw, which is um, Nemo Claw, and we're going to use NVIDIA's open source Open Claw that they developed, and it's it's open source, so we can rebrand it and as I don't know if you want to go to genspark.ai and yeah, if you can show. Yeah, so GenSpark, you see here they have GenSpark Claw. So they did the same thing. They took someone's open source, and I mean, we looked at different ones that we could use, but we decided to use NVIDIA's because Nemo Claw, uh, we're going to go to the enterprise market. We don't want to have like being questioned about security. So if we tell them, hey, we're using NVIDIA's Nemo Claw as Flow Claw, then those should security issues should not be an issue. Um, but and this is something similar. A team here you can see GenSpark. They're based in the Bay Area. They went from with 24 employees. They went from 0 to 100 million in annual recurring revenue in 12 months. And they're doing something similar to what we're doing from the standpoint of on the back end, they're integrating different AIs. So they're using OpenAI, they're Claude, whoever, they're a meta search comparison site basically. As we architected it, intent recognition, it would go and hit one model. Potentially, it will hit multiple models if we want. take the stuff out of all of the different models and come up with condensed version. So there's some things that we're thinking about doing, how it might work, have been discussed with Sally, but you can see here they're kind of doing the same thing with their AI slides, AI sheets, AI docs designer. And if you click on all agents, um, no, not that one, the last one.
Oh,
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
log in.
yeah. So here they have a very similar concept to what we have. Um, you see here, they even have their AI pods. So it's a podcast AI basically. But they broke it down into different, chat bots basically that are specialized chat bots. We call ours buddies. They call them, there's something different as you can see here, but yeah, so this is a good example. I mean, one of the things that we're kind of looking for insights as far as what they're doing and what's, know, you know, I haven't gone and done a deep dive into any of these agents except I looked at the podcast one. So I thought that was a good idea. Since we have trying to launch our podcast team right now. But Kim, any thoughts about that?
I do. So with the Gen Spark, because you did mention that they have, they're already established at this point, but like the idea is that Flowbrain and Gen Spark is kind of like sharing the same qualities, and are we aiming to kind of like launch Flowbrain exactly the same way how GenSpark is doing it? Or are we going to operate it as, this is for, let's say, for athletes? This is for health? Is this going to be for, if you are interested in space, if this is for travel? How did you want it like, kind of like this, but then you go to all agents and then everything's in there? Is that how you also vision Flowbrain, or just in general Flow Labs innovations are going to look like?
Yeah, I think Flowbrain in general would have all the buddies, whatever buddies we launch, they would be added just like GenSpark. And and yeah, so I mean the difference, I mean that's one aspect is the buddies and the main aspect is like for I don't know what tools you use, but for me, my two go-to tools are ChatGPT and Discord, right? So I chat, sometimes I even use the rooms, I call people on Discord. I was talking to Mohammed earlier, instead of using Zoom, it was just called him on Discord. So Messenger sometimes, right? So we can kind of, what's that tool, those top tools that we're using? I mean, to me, that's why I was telling Sandeep when we were working on this, it's like
Mm.
we are already AI first because this is an AI chatbot, right? We are AI first, but we're privacy first. And there's a bunch of different things that privacy means and how we host, let's say, this information. And so we can't we can't see anyone's data, anything that they're chatting. None of our team members can see it. Only the customer can see it. And so we have a list of like 20 things that we can work on from what privacy means and how we can integrate to be the privacy first AI. Because if the future with these AIs and wearables, right, they're always on devices. And if you're chatting stuff and you're researching and don't want that stored in memory, right? You're having an argument with someone. You have your so that's going to be a really significant factor moving forward is privacy with people. With AI, it's completely different than when you're like right now with using Google, let's say, even in Google, right? All your browser history is there and it's tracked, and you know what time you clicked on a page and how long you were there for, and but so privacy first, and then communications first, video chat. Um, so if we can become that video chat merging with an AI, that can be really powerful. I mean, if I could replace Discord, and I used to be a huge Skype user for years, um, and that was my communications tool. Now they shut that down. It's unfortunate. I mean, I'm using Messenger a lot and Discord, but yeah, so that's basically what what the idea is behind this.
I see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when Flow Brain is operational, we'll definitely get to see more of this. And also, with everything that is pending to launch, that includes you know, um, the athletic performance intelligence platform, that could definitely, what is it, take inspiration from the design that Sandeep and the rest of the design team had created. So that's definitely one thing to also include in there. But yeah, it looks pretty good so far.
The,
Um,
the um the one of the other things, Sally, well, Sally did some research on using tracers. So within the browser, say someone logs on to Flowbrain, it would be permission based. So if it's a company or parents, let's say, get the family using Flowbrain, and then you can. That's why we have mission control. And mission control basically is the admin. Think of it as an admin that can see all the other sites within it. So a team lead is the admin, or a parent is the admin, and then you can see the stuff that your team members, or if it's your kids. I mean, think about, I know you've heard about kids that have used ChatGPT or an AI, committed suicide, right? They're dating a chatbot. I mean, that stuff is starting to happen. You're hearing about it, and I mean, it's kind of weird. It sounds weird, but so as a parent, you're going to want to know what your kids are. What are they chatting with? What are they talking about in the chat history? You're going to want that stuff to be able to see it, and have some guardrails around what they're able to communicate. Maybe in the finance buddy, right? Your kids, your partner, your spouse, you give them a credit card, or you give them, what are they using the finances? Let's say you want to be able to keep track of all that stuff in one place. Um, so what are yeah, those, that's kind of the difference between kind of mission control and the cockpit dashboards. Um, so yeah, Sally found some tracers where, let's say, even on links that are within the dashboard. So if you link off, if once you log in and there's a link to Notion, or a link to our Claude account, or our ChatGPT account, then it can trace the person, the team member that goes to the site. And we can even, again, permissions based, it could take snapshots, screenshots. So you have in your dashboard, like every 20-30 seconds, there's a screenshot, for example, instead of video. But you could have that so you can see, oh, what was I doing? And where was where was I, what was I working on? Ideally, we want, once you're logged in, to automatically have the time entries to know what you are working on and what tasks you are working on, without having to fill out anything, because it knows, right? because you're in that environment. And so the tracking would just be automated. You would never even, and we call it, we were thinking like productivity, like tracking your productivity, your 80% productivity compared to your team but we're really looking at impact. So we're calling it right now kind of what impact have you made, let's say. So internally we know, okay, we have different interns and what impact has their contributions, what's the impact that they've had while they've been an intern with us? So, so that's also part of the thinking is, maybe productivity is one of the metrics of impact, so it could be two different things. But yeah, so we just want to try and make it as easy as possible to use and some of the things that Sandeep was showing us, I mean, part of it almost looks like it could be a replacement for Notion. That's not really what we're trying to do, although there may be even on Notion, Sandeep, we should look at Notion has Notion web pages or something like that it's called. And so we could take their web pages, take Notion and add it as a web page to Flowbrain. And so it kind of stays within, our environment, let's say as a web page. Maybe we don't have to link off to Notion and we stay within Flowbrain, but it's a web page. That
Yeah.
might be another interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, I look into that and also integrating FlowClaw into this.
Mhm. Yeah. And of course, what we talked about in the previous meeting, because Mohammed kind of demoed it to the tech meeting, to the tech team, and I think, yeah, what we agreed on is that Indra and I guess you Sandeep need to look at what are the features and functionality and document all the features and functionality that are in here, and then we'll look at what do we have now, what was the team working on that we can launch with those things first, and then have a requirements document where we prioritize the different features and functionality based on which ones we can develop first or whatever criteria we use for our development roadmap. So of course it's not going to be like everything's going to be developed at one time. So which are like the tracer, I don't know how easy it is to integrate something like that to replace Kronos or Toggle. That would be something we want to try to do, fairly quickly. I think we found a an open source back end for video and chat that is being used. It's a pretty popular one. So, like I don't know how integrating that, since it's open source and it's developed and being used by a lot of companies and people, uh, how quickly, since the back end is basically developed. I mean, I don't, because these are like going to be separate features within the application. It's not necessarily the back end for the chat and the recordings, the Zoom, the rooms aren't going to necessarily be an app that's with the AI. There'll be separate apps, right, that are placed in here. So we're not trying to make it overly complicated, but
That sounds good. I'll connect with Indra and we'll work on
Okay.
great.
And also, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was already, talked about or discussed with the back end development team. So, once that's been communicated well, then probably see more progress from the back end also in this case, incorporating everything in here, including some of the apps that we would want to utilize as well in one singular platform. So that's definitely something we can definitely look into. Um, okay, perfect. Um, thank you, Sandeep, for sharing that. Um, I see that Basil, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Hi.
Hello, hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Are you new to MoodChanger or are you joining us from a different team? This is my first time seeing you.
Yeah, yeah. So I was on the automation team,
Hmm.
and also currently I'm on the automation team, and I also on the backend team. But John asked me to join the mood changer team because he said that that you need some development.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, that's all.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for joining us. And then we'll go over some of the projects that we're working on in MoodChanger. Feel free to jump in if you have anything that you would want to share with the rest of the team. So,
Okay,
yeah, nice meeting you. Okay.
thank you.
But Basil is, did you graduate, Basil? Did you
What
finish your, did you graduate
what is it?
school? Did you finish school? Did you graduate from your
Yeah,
university
and no, I still on at August.
in August? Okay. And Basil's working in the health sector. So that's why I thought it would be good to have him engaged in this team as well as the automation team, and he's going to be working the back end. Uh, so yeah, so I thought maybe using his experience in the health sector might be a good fit for this team.
If you don't mind me asking, which health and field are you working at?
Again, please, what you ask?
Oh, I was just wondering which field in health are you currently working at? Or because that's what John was saying, that you were also involved in health sector.
Oh, so what in which field I will join?
No, I was just asking like what experience in health I guess development have you had? What are you working on right now?
Okay, so currently on health, I don't have any experience. Okay, so but I have experience on backend. But I have like more time available, and John asked me to join the team because the team needs some development. That's all.
Basil, where do you work right now?
So currently on the automation, tomorrow I will
Your
meet
job,
on.
your job. Where are you working at? Your job.
Okay. Okay. At feasibility with how's it called? Like oh, I don't know. 1 minute, I forgot it in English. It is like a field on the on illness about psychology that they have and disturb issues bipolar like you know what is bipolar?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I'm a therapist.
Basil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I
Yeah.
share a minute here? Can I share a second, Basil?
Oh yeah, here,
Yeah,
Muhammad.
yeah, Doctor. What he's talking about, like he working with a facility with mental issues for the elder people.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah, psychiatric.
I see.
Exactly.
Mm.
Psychiatric. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah. So
are you a provider or are you what are you working what's your role?
so so I am there a supervisor. I am developing. I develop like for every person there. We have some like his own issue, and we are developing for him something to improve his daily skills. Yeah. So and also like we have there. some like we have like we are dividing the people into four scoops, and every scoop we have also our teams, and every group, excuse me, every group have his own his own program, like, and it is all about to improve their daily skills, because like they are a high, like they are almost like a normal person, but with issues with their disturbing illness on uh, I forgot it like
Right. Yeah,
on their psychiatric side.
right.
Like,
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying because I'm currently working at a place like that right now. So it makes sense that John asked you to come today because it really helps that we do have somebody who kind of sees like the system behind of like the health aspect of things. So one thing I do want to point out too is that um I believe what is she here? Arsema and there's a task that was assigned to a couple of the people that have joined us today that you might be able to have an opinion on in regards to what is it? In regards to be able to understand how we're going to move forward with this because with the assigned task that they have is in regards to EEG, being able to understand like how do we put the health factors to inject it to Flowbrain. So those are the things that we're trying to move forward right now. So feel free to jump in and give us any of your thoughts once we go through each of the other would change your team members' task. Okay? Does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah, and Basil is our only Palestinian right now. He lives in Israel, and so yeah. So are you? Do you live in Israel?
I'm Palestinian who lives on the occupied land. Okay.
You live where?
I
Occupied
am,
land. Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay. Because with your the other guy from Israel, I can't remember his name, or he was also
Mhm.
Palestinian. He was. But you're going to an Israeli school, right? University.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
have to because there is no other, like we don't have any other option.
Okay. Thank you for the correction.
Mhm.
Claudia, you want to say something?
Yeah, I had a question. So he says he's working with psychology, but it's psychiatry. Isn't that like when you're using medicine to try to, okay, assist?
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah,
he's
for sure.
working with like,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah. They have their own medicine, but we also like we are developing for everyone his own plan to improve his own skills, because you can imagine that that there is their side, their psychiatric side, and their personality side, and we are working on the personality side. The doctors and the nurses are working on the health side,
so are you checking
which is
like
medicine.
this? So are you like checking to see how the medicine that they're taking helps them?
Yeah, helps their mood. Yeah,
No.
it's improving their mood.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So let's go ahead and move to Arsema. Go ahead and show us what you've done. I know it was assigned to you like probably like a couple of weeks ago, but I understand that, things have come up. So this is your time to share us your work and, feel free to share here on Zoom if you have anything that you wanted to display as well. So please go ahead and take.
Hi everyone. So I was assigned with the task EEG headbands to build some pipeline layer around EEG data. So let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you and we can see your screen.
Okay. So I used an EEG data from Physionet, if you guys have heard of it. So first of all, we need to load the data, and then we need to build some easy layer pipeline over it so that we can determine what kind of state the patient or the user is. So basically, I used one channel only for this case because right now I'm not sure what kind of headbands are we using. For example, for EEG headbands, there is Muse and also Sabi. I think John mentioned it last time. So it depends on what kind of electrodes they're using. Some of them use 6 electrodes, some of them 12, and so on. So we need to determine what kind of data we're using in order to analyze those data. So right now I tried to extract some features. For example, here, when we compute relative powers, there are three types of waves we get from this brain signal: alpha, beta, and theta. So right now I just extracted these three features and tried to compute them so that we can see what kind of effects that they have. Because based on that, if alpha is more larger than beta, the user is active or doing something, and if beta is higher, then it's on more of calm state. So that's how this works. So here we have some functions that calculate the effects of these signals, and then we have signal processing. This one, okay, so here we import some of the features that we listed above, and then we use them to process the signals. So let me just show you the result quick here. Okay, so here is the visualization for the three waves. So right now I'm just using one data, like one patient's data, because I'm assuming that the data is there and I'm trying to interpret it, right? So here the blue one is the alpha wave, the orange one is the beta, and the green one is the theta. So this gives us the pattern, you know? So for example, if you can see here, there is O1 and F3, F4. This means occipital lobe and this means frontal lobe. So right now the patient has dominating beta wave on the occipital lobe and here dominating theta wave on frontal lobe. So that's what this image visualizes. And
Excuse me. Wait, I don't know if it is only me, but we cannot see
Yeah, we can. I
the
can.
visualization.
okay, sorry. You can't see it now?
No.
I think you're only sharing VS Code screen, so you can
Oh,
share your entire screen, maybe.
okay. Wait a minute. What about now?
Oh, okay.
Can you see it now?
We can see it
Yeah.
now.
Okay, okay. So this is the visualization that I was talking about. So basically, these are the waves, like the alpha, beta, and theta waves for the occipital and the frontal ones, like here on the x-axis, O1, O2, F3, F4. So we choose one channel from the electrodes that record the EEG signal, and then we extract these specific signals. This is not a must, like we can also extract another features. This is just for the start. But then this is the wave, the actual signal we can build from the open source data. So this shows us like within 60 seconds what kind of brainwave signal that data represents. So from this, we can construct the focus score, the calmness of the patient, and other parameters. So for now, this is what I have. Like, I know it's not much, but I have been trying to find the right kind of data that we can substitute for Muse headbands, but I didn't find that. So this is what I have built for now.
Thank you, Ursima. Sally, in regards to the data that might be helpful for Arsema, do you have anything that you would like to share with her, or anything that you know that you think is going to be helpful for Arsema in this case?
Actually, we have already talked about this with Arsema before. Like we were just discussing about FizoNet and FizoNet limits that you put in a different task, like a long time ago, and not something new actually. And so we're also working on this with AI before, and we have used Sophia to generate these synthetic data sets. And FizoNet has some limits, like it will be just paid after some time, and we have just limits, so we won't be able to use some of their data. This way, it was labeled like it's not a good idea to use FusionNet on Notion, and Cynthia was actually a good option for this. And we can maybe just search for some other options like this, or also there are some tools by NVIDIA and Meta that are designed to generate these synthetic data sets based on the prompt and the settings. And it's actually like configurations, so they can also be a good option maybe. So but if you just require some time to configure them, if you use the ones that from NVIDIA and Meta. But Cynthia was a good option actually. So we can also add some noise to it. Since the real data isn't something so clean, so we will need to adapt to it to the like real-time scenarios and add some noises first. So yeah, what we need to do for the data is that we need to mimic the real data as much as possible.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. We can do that, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Arsema and Sally. Obviously, once we have better data that we can plug into what you have developed, we'll definitely see more of what this will entail, especially that, we would definitely integrate some form of headwear, maybe a headband, maybe a hat, as one of the products that we would also want to endorse or at least launch through MoodChanger because as you know with MoodChanger we are Flowbrain plus we do support third-party wearables too, but we can also sell our own. So it's one of those things that we definitely need to develop a system for in order for us to ensure that we're checking off all the boxes in terms of like the practicality and the functionality of these things so that our customers are actually going to see the value in it. So yes, I'll, take Sally's advice and then we'll definitely look more into what you have developed so far. Thank you, Arsema.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so I want to be respectful for everyone else's time as well. So let's go over to the website, Mohammed. Do you have any updates for us in regards I know over the whole week we've been talking about the feedback about the website and the changes that we would want to see on the athletic performance intelligence platform. So, do you have any updates for us? Has the feedback been reflected on the website by any chance?
Mm, Yes, Dr. Kim. Actually, this task has been forwarded to some of the design members. I think Jareen and Kendra were working on that, plus Diego. But as you know, with the design team, we have a lot of work, so I'm not sure we done with the website this week, but definitely we looked at these notes and take the feedbacks of your team. And Jareen, are you here? If you want to share some of the updates
I
that you
am
have,
here,
or
yes. Let me do
you can
that.
share some of the updates.
So I was just looking at the images you sent, but uh, let me let me open it here.
Yes.
So from the feedback, uh, you not you specifically, but Ethan and Gaon shared that they kind of were more positive for the design Mohammed made, so we just kind of moved on from that one. We needed to add a dashboard, as Rebecca showed. That was a good addition. So the difference is here's a mock dashboard different from the previous one. That part is already pushed, actually. The images were meant to be changed. There was a guy lifting something, lifting weights on this image. So since this is meant to be showing the organization collection of data and stuff, I just put a image that showed multiple data on different screens to show the separated data. I am going to put one dashboard on this one because that like feels like fitting unified truth and all that. But I couldn't decide if I should be putting this dashboard directly, this mock dashboard that we made, or should I be using an close this again. So none of them are the real thing. This is why I'm kind of a little unsure, let's say. There's this one image showing a basic, very basic dashboard, and another one that's just simply showing dashboards for, I'm not even sure what this is for actually. So these are the two things I thought about adding, or let's say placing on this place rather than this weights. Do you have any idea about that?
I mean, if your choice is between that one and this one, I think if you can you go back to the other one?
I mean, there can be some other stuff, but I didn't really want to go
E-
to AI for
Right.
some image creation right now. So
It's okay. Yeah, with this one, it definitely not because as you can see, the terminologies in here are not human
yeah,
based. So it seems like for something else, but if you were to choose between the two, I would rather go with the other one, the one with the iPad.
yeah,
iPad, yeah. But if you do find more that is applicable to what is being talked about in that section, that'd be great. Has Muhammad shared you the Google Docs or like the my commentary or my feedback in regards to everything that has been done for the website by any chance? Um, if not, I can share it with
Uh,
you.
Not directly, no.
It's okay. I can share that with you because it will, some feedback there and also the Gowan and Ethan's feedback from, the first version will definitely help you kind of like, oh, just based from the suggestions, like potentially we can find something that we can use instead. Oh, there you go. Mohammed had sent something out here.
I saw the feedback from Gaon and Ethan, but I didn't see your feedback, so
Okay,
I
yeah, no
can, yeah.
worries. No worries. I'll send it over to you. It's in the Google Doc, but I'll probably like put it in the Notion task. So I'll do that.
Okay.
So feel free to check it out and then reflect it however is possible so we can get it launched soon because one of the part of the reasons why we wanted the website to, at least look presentable and, all of the information and also the videos or the pictures, the overall interface is at least seamless is because we're going to start out we planned on outreaching to our sports organization partnerships. That's always been the plans, but we can't do that if we don't have the platform ready yet, just because this is our portfolio, this is what we're doing. Feel free to check out our platform or our website. So just so that you know that we are pretty legit and this is what the information about us and how we can help with sports organization workflow, things like that. So, just keep that in mind and yeah, everything else should fall into place after that's done. So, but yeah, I'll send it over to you. If you have any questions in any of my comments, feel free to do so. You can easily reach me out through Discord. So anyone else have any personal opinion about the look of the platform right now? Gallon, do you have anything you want to add on as well in this?
Oh,
Can I
yes.
just mention
Uh,
one thing? Sorry, Jion, just one
sorry.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought you, Joreen, had the feedback.
I have the feedback, but the only the one that Ethan and Gaon filled, not Kim's feedback.
Okay, because when I was talking to you, you said you have the feedback. You find it, you search and you find it. So I thought you have all the feedbacks. That's why
No, no.
I didn't send you the link.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Dr. Kim.
It's okay. Gallon, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to tell you everything is looks so cool. Everything is reflected through what I wanted to suggest. So the dashboard and this image, yeah, this dashboard and this image, and also I like your consideration, yeah, for the the model section.
Model
Yeah,
section?
everything is cool. No, the model's picture. I think that one is still needs to be changed.
Yeah,
I think it's more
this one will
Yeah,
change.
for that image, and I like the both image you suggest. So yeah, I want to tell everything looks perfect.
Um, aside also, aside from the interface itself and also like the overall look of it, my comments are more focused on the content itself because some of them are, if you go down, like, I just want to give an example. This one right here, right there. So one intelligence layer unified performance truth doesn't make sense to me. So it was just one of the examples that I pointed out in my feedback. So when I'll send it over to you, you'll see what I mean. But like for each of these description for each of and also for the points, I made comments on those just because, the information is important in the platform because that's the first thing that our partners are going to review. So that's basically the huge bulk of my feedback. So just giving you a heads up. And also for the rest of the design team too, who will be working with you on this project. So, but that's all I'm gonna say. Gowan did express how she loves the website. Um, and anyone else before we move forward with the other task? Anyone else they wanted to share with the design team in regards to this? Nobody? Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jaren. Look awesome. All right, so let's move on to Gown. Let's go ahead and share what you've done for this week. And I know you weren't here the previous meeting, so feel free to share that as well. Go over briefly, just so that we have an idea of any updates on your end.
Yes. Okay. I want to share this week task first because the last week I was sick on Sunday, so I wasn't able to join the meeting, but last week my task was to send the email to the scientific lab company, but I got only one reply, and I told Kim, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Sorry, before you move forward with talking about this, I did want to give an update to the rest of the team. So the tasks that were assigned to Gowan and Ethan at that time was to reach out to the EOM manufacturers. So in regards to the smart scale. So with the smart scale, we kind of drafted a whole email with every questions that we had in regards to what features would they be able to host or what other things that they would like for us to know in order for us to move forward with building this partnership with us because we want them to we would want them to, oh no, we would want to use their product and then we kind of white label it in that way, but we also wanted to inject Flowbrain in it. But that part is still not yet confirmed because I reached out to Indra throughout the whole week. She responded to me. She said that she will have to study what MoodChanger is doing right now with, with the third-party wearables, or at least in this case, like with trying to integrate these products to Flowbrain. But she hasn't responded to me with any updates yet, so that's what's happened, Gowan. So I haven't, I couldn't really do much either from that point. So even if we wanted to respond to them, we don't have that information until we hear back from the Flowbrain team. So just letting you know. But when we do have that information, we will definitely coordinate and then try to respond as promptly as possible. Because I believe there's two. I saw because you know how we are copied in the email, there's two companies that actually responded. One is Transtech and the other one is I forgot the name. It's in my email. I don't want to waste more time looking for it, but there's two companies who actually responded. So like I said, we'll try to get up to speed with that, and I'll keep continuing talking to Indra about it. So, and when I do, I'll let you know, and then we can respond to them. Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and talk about this week's task, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, this task focuses on how at-home lab data can be used to generate meaningful health and performance insights within the Flow Health. And my role was to focus on the sport performance side, specifically mapping a biomarker to performance metrics and building a scoring framework that translates clinical data into actionable insights. So, yeah, For the first section, I defined 5 key atom lab task categories that are most relevant to the both health monitoring and athletic performance intelligence. First, the hormone test. The hormonal panel is ranked as the highest priority. Hormones such as cortisol, testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone directly influences stress response, recovery patterns, and performance readiness. This is especially important for female athletes as it enables cycle-based training optimization. And second, the inflammation and recovery category focuses on biomarkers like omega fatty acid and their ratios. These indicators help estimate inflammation levels and muscle condition, which are critical for identifying overtraining and recovery status. And third, the iron status test includes ferritin, hemoglobin, and iron levels. These are linked to oxygen transport capacity, which impact endurance, fatigue, and overall performance sustainability. And fourth, the metabolic panel evaluates glucose and lipid-related markers. These biomarkers reflect how efficiently the body utilizes energy, which is essential for maintaining stable performance during training. And lastly, the micronutrient status, including vitamin D and B12, plays a key role in immune function, fatigue recovery, and the muscle performance, contributing to overall condition and recovery quality. And for the metric mapping, based on these categories, I mapped key biomarkers to specific performance metrics in order to translate clinical data into insights. Each biomarker is not analyzed in isolation, but instead linked to a meaningful performance indicator. For example, cortisol is mapped to stress level, where elevated cortisol reflects higher physiological stress, and testosterone is associated with recovery and readiness, as higher levels support muscle recovery and performance capacity. And hormonal markers such as estradiol and progesterone are used to assess hormonal balance, which is particularly important for understanding cycle-based performance timing in female athletes. And the inflammation-related markers, including CRP and omega ratios, indicates inflammation levels, which directly impact recovery quality. And similarly, creatine kinase or CK reflects muscle damage and recovery status. And in addition, ferritin and hemoglobin are linked to endurance capacity as they determine oxygen transport efficiency. And metabolic markers like glucose and lipids indicate energy stability, while vitamin D and B12 contribute to recovery quality and fatigue management. So for scoring framework, I developed this framework that translates biomarker data to the quantifiable performance indicators. So each score is calculated on normalized scale and combines multiple biomarkers rather than relying on a single input. So for example, the recovery score integrates testosterone, K, CRP, and vitamin status. Higher testosterone contributes positively, while elevated K and CRP reduce the score, reflecting muscle damage and inflammation. And the stress score is primarily driven by cortisol levels, with the potential to integrate behavioral data such as sleep. Higher cortisol increases the stress score, while better sleep can help reduce it. And the endurance capacity score is based on the ferritin and hemoglobin, which together determine oxygen transport efficiency and endurance potential. And the hormonal balance index evaluates the ratio between estradiol and progesterone combined with cycle-paced alignment to assess optimal performance timing. And finally, the energy stability score reflects how effectively the body manages energy based on glucose variability and lipid profile. In the final step, these scores are translated into user-friendly insights that support real-world decisions. So for recovery, the system explains whether the body is ready for training or needs additional recovery based on inflammation and muscle strain markers. And for stress, insights are driven by cortisol levels and behavioral data such as sleep, helping users understand how stress may impact performance. And endurance insights are based on iron-related biomarkers, indicating whether oxygen capacity is sufficient for sustained performance. And for hormonal balance, the system provides cycle-based insights, helping users identify optimal training windows or adjust intensity when needed. And lastly, energy-related insights reflect how stable the user's energy levels are based on glucose and metabolic markers. Yeah, that's all for my biomarkers. And
Okay. Thank you, Gown. Can you scroll down and just right here, just exactly, oh, sorry, go up right there. I just want to see something. So, what's funny when I was trying to redo my own research in regards to these manufacturers that actually allow for at-home lab tests and this top three. Oh, actually, no. Let me see. This first one from Everly Well is one of the best ones out there. And I know there's a reason why it's top one right there. And I kind of like filed it in a way somewhere in my documents, but basically Everly Well is most likely one of those places that we're also going to be reaching out to in regards to the health kits. So this is just, another thing that we have to clarify, do some clarification of for when we do try to source health kits from these manufacturing companies. So one of them is Everlywell. And it seems like their test category is it primarily only for hormonal panel? Are they also doing any other things? Is Everlywell only for hormones? I just want to clarify. Do you know?
I'm not sure, but I just focuses on the hormonal test kit, so I'm not sure every will have another
Okay.
product.
I think really well has a lot of different testing that they raise. They're based in Austin. And um, one of the founders or co-founders. She's uh, yeah, they're based in Austin. They raise like I don't know several $100 million, and yeah, so I think probably their kits are um, yeah, they're supposed to be affordable, and there's lots of different solutions.
Right. Yeah, it seems like, yeah, when I was doing my research too on them, the reason why they're top priority, I mean, at least for when they were when I was going over ChatGPT with like, oh, can you rank all of these companies that actually is in alignment with what we're looking for? There's a reason why Everlywell was the highest because they really have a robust way of gathering data based from samples, and hormonal panel is just one of them. So, but yeah, and also I think what would really helpful from here, Gowan, is to what you can do here is to update this. I mean, you've done well. This is good. It's very informational. What would be helpful as well is to kind of like map out, like draw a diagram of like what the, so if you go down, I just want to have a visual help in here. Um, Let me see. I guess this one right here. If we could turn it into a diagram, I think this is just for my own sake. I'm a very visual learner, but like, because these things are very important when it comes to athletes, especially if they are in league levels. These are the things that most likely are being tested on, depending on really what they're looking for. But some of these may not even like, they probably they don't care much about, but like that's the reason why we need to do more research on what exactly these sports organizations are actually researching about, or at least they care about in terms of the the athletic performance itself. But as you can see with the performance metrics here, stress level, recovery readiness, hormonal balance, because again, it's very dependent and not dependent, but like very directly tied with stress levels. That's why we're trying to test the estradiol and progesterone. And then we got the inflammation level, muscle damage recovery, endurance capacity, energy stability, and recovery quality, all of which are important when it comes to, that's why we are doing the biomarkers here, and this is how we map it. But for the sake of, I guess, for visual sake, it will be really helpful if we have like a condition type of way of displaying things. So if you could scroll down, I just want to see because I saw something here. Yes, there you go. So it's kind of like including the recovery score, the stress score. If we, for example, like you know how what's her name? Arzima earlier, she was able to use one specific patient num data. In this case, it would be helpful to also play out um like a case study in a way. So, for example, Kim um is an athlete. She is I don't know, a football player, let's say. So this is and this is what's happening. You give a prompt and then you kind of like, oh, this is the training for this week and this is what's happening and very like with whenever they use Flowbrain, the recovery score, the stress score, the capacity score, and the stability score should be able to tell me everything that should relate back to what happened within that time frame. So it gives you like a little bit more of application of what these information actually means. So if we could potentially display it in a way that is applicable for whoever is reading this information, that includes the coach and the athlete themselves or whoever, the athletic manager, it could be anybody who has access to this data, it will be really helpful for even for us, even for the front and the back end to understand that these information can be displayed in a way that is a reflection of how it applies to the actual customer in this case, like the athlete, for example. So, you know, if we try to run, let's, for example, I have been using Flowbrain or that specific wearable to track my progress. Plus, I use the health kit in this case. So, I'll probably um, I completed my sample kit and then the laboratory was able to process it and then you got the results back. And then when we get the results back, we plug it back in Flowbrain. And then from there, that's where we kind of see the branching out of everything and then how each of those data that is pulled from multiple things. Because let's just assume that I am a football player that uses a wearable completed the health sample data. Let's say I also purchased the water bottle from us, and also have used Smart Scale before, after, at each training session. Let's just say I have all of these things, right? I have done all of this, and I have the sample data, sorry, the health kit data that I have completed probably before the match or whatsoever. So we have those information. Now the numbers for the recovery score, stress score, endurance and energy stability score should start calibrating from there or configuring like, oh, this is what's happening. Based on this and this and that, this is your score for the stress level. So does that make sense? It really helps, like, if you have a case study, because that case study can be also displayed in the website. Because it could be like a, what do you call that? What do you call it? Yeah, anyways, a case study that could be also displayed on the website just so that our partners are aware of how this works. So that will be a task for this week. So you and Ethan have been working on the smart bottle, the smart scale, the what is it? This one, and also reaching out to the manufacturers. So based from what I said, try to kind of like create that case study that kind of inputs all of these things and how it impacts the all the scores that I have mentioned. So, yeah, try to work on that and, feel free to reach me out to me if you have anything that you'd like to clarify on that because having that case study will be helpful for marketing purposes as well. So that, whoever is going to want to build partnerships with us, they know exactly how it works. So that case study will be helpful. So, anybody else have any opinions or anything that they would like to share in this matter?
Oh, just on so from the plan is to, with athletic performance, provide our consulting services. And with those consulting services, take your sensor data, or you're using Whoop, you're using your smartwatches, whatever. We can take all your sensor data, put it into our tools, give you analysis, analytics, suggestions, how to improve based on that. We also have this, you can use Everlywell or similar type companies to get other type of data. And based on getting that data, we can also give you some insights, and we can take that and pair it up with your sensor data to see now it's data on steroids, because now we've got two different types of data that are integrated that may provide better insights than just looking at certain data in a silo without merging it with other data. Right, that's kind of what we're looking at with this type of stuff. And then, of course, the scale, and if you want to scale or if you have a scale, that data, a water bottle, that data, and it's basically a la carte. This is, we are the experts. We're suggesting that, a scale would help, and a water bottle would help, and Everlywell, the data may help, and so they can choose and pick whatever they want out of this. And so that's what the service, or this consulting service is. Kim, is that what you're thinking?
Yes, exactly. So the consultancy part of this is we're assuming that the example that I provided earlier, we're assuming that they fall under tier two. Tier two meaning that they actually use wearables or even all of these higher end smart scale water bottles. They do actually use those things. So they are still part of the tier two that will require we can still offer the consultancy services, especially for onboarding part and also interpretation of the data, because especially when we incorporate health kit and when they actually bought that product from us that we have white labeled, um definitely they need somebody to kind of like they can speak to. Maybe the plan could be an AI agent that they can chat with in regards to the results or whatsoever. Again, the whole point is that we're not trying to replace professional medical advice, but the whole point is that the information that Flowbrain is trying to provide, or the consultancy is trying to provide, is in conjunction with everything else that Flowbrain is doing. So it's not just the result of the health kit, but again, where is health kit the sample data from the health kit is being stored? It's through Flowbrain, because that's the whole reason why we're trying to have that partnership with these these companies, because we're trying to white label and trying to um, have them distribute. Well, number one, they will distribute the product for us. They will receive the used product and then they will send that product to the laboratory for testing. And then the testing, there's a lot of like legality that goes into this, but like, let's just say everything goes well. We get the information from the labs, and then, we could potentially just have it directly sent over to our system, which is our Flowbrain, or the Athletic Performance Intelligence platform through Flowbrain. Then we can interpret the data based on other things as well. So yes, it is still part of the greater scheme of everything. But if a person chooses to just focus on one of, let's say, for example, let's say Gowan just wanted to buy the smart water bottle. They don't necessarily like don't want to incorporate any other things. That's still fine, at least that we have other source of data to help them to interpret that and also connect it back to our flow brain. I hope that makes sense. But it's just assuming that bigger leagues like this, or what do you call it? Bigger sports organization would have more access to these things versus a smaller sports companies who may or may not even have the money or the funds to buy these products. And that's the reason why we have tier one to cover those people too, to allow flexibility in our service delivery. So
To me, this seems like a very comprehensive ecosystem of things that could be integrated to get insights of how we can, help athletes perform better. One of the things that seems like is missing is nutrition. Like, what are you eating? What is we got the drinks, what they're drinking, how much they're drinking. Okay, that's so. But what are you eating, and how does that affect? Are you eating vegetables? Are you eating what junk food? Are you eating sweets? Are you know, how can we capture that so we could? I mean, do you think that that makes sense to kind of see if their athletes are tracking what they're eating, that could have some impact on their performance?
yes, absolutely. Um, that was one of the tasks that was assigned to Ethan actually in the nutrition part. I think it's one of those weeks that I was not here. I don't know if he actually went over it. I don't know if anybody remembered, but regardless, that specific task is more focused on it's actually a lot easier to gather that information versus, for example, smart bottle or the smart scale. It's a lot easier mainly because it's direct data that we're talking about. So when I say direct data is that we have existing apps that are actually being used. I think this is one of the most robust section of wellness and sports that is actually actively being tracked in sports science, or at least in any form of level of sports levels. But one of them I could think of is My Fitness app. We could just use API to get that information. I don't know if they actually do allow that data sharing, but we do need to do more research. And I believe it was Ethan who did that research. I need to double check. But if not, I can definitely do that very quickly if I just so that we can present it next week. But yes, that nutrition aspect is definitely an important part of it, and we can absolutely do that if we get to have somehow an access to their API, because these apps are readily available. Um, People either they pay for the subscription through that app. They use that to track their, calorie intake, where is it? Their macros, their micros, all these things to ensure that they are keeping up with, the goals, their fitness goals, or may it be specific to the goals for the sports that they are involved in. And there's another one that I could think of that I personally used when I was in undergrad, but it's basically allowing the athletes to keep track of their intake slash there's a sensor that they were allowed to wear that allows them to track both the intake and also the calorie burns type of thing, depending on how long they kept the wearables on with them the whole time. So it's kind of similar to what we're doing already. I mean, at least like the theoretical aspect of it, but from my experience, it's already out there. It's a lot easier versus, white labeling a product from somewhere because we do have apps like that. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay, and those apps would, I mean, how do you count your nutrition? You just take a picture of whatever you're eating?
Yes, some of them there's so many of them out there. I think the most advanced ones were, for example, I don't know, for example, here is my Celsius. I could just take a photo of the nutrition facts back here. I don't know if you can see it. Just take a photo of that using the app, and it kind of like automatically puts into the data. And then, for example, a simple apple. So the camera has the ability to calibrate the size, the weight of it. I don't know how accurate that is. I need to do more research on that because it's more on a tech side, but like take a photo of that, I guess the camera and recognize that, oh, that's an apple, and it seems like from the weight, whatever, from the size, this is how much this is the nutritional value within this specific apple. But the lower end versions of these nutritional apps, all you have to do is like, oh, the user would go on it and then structure in a way like, okay, breakfast, this is what I'm eating. I have 2 strips of bacon. This is they manually put in the calories based from the serving size included in the packaging. So it's manual was it? They manually enter those information. And I know a lot of gym junkies are doing that. So they actually do that like manually because, a lot of people are very precise like that way. So I think they prefer it that way versus other options. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it with what else? If you put them together, for example, you take a photo of a casserole or whatsoever. And then of course with the picture it's just going to show you multiple combination of multiple things. But I know for some apps it will still ask you like what ingredients did you put in there? How much of that? What is the weight of that? What is the how much calories or how much sodium, how much protein, how much carbs, how much sugar are in it? You manually put it, and that really depends on the user's calculation. But we can definitely go for the higher end ones where it automatically does that for you. But I just need to do more research on how they actually do that and how credible that is. But for the sake of like explaining how it works, we do have apps like that, and it is readily available. We just don't know whether um, the data is accessible through API that we can just easily integrate to Flowbrain. So,
Okay, now that sounds really good. And I think over the mid to long term, we want to create similar functionality within Flowbrain Health. So where you can take a picture, you can fill out a form, and then it uses our AI, and we don't, our customers say don't need to use those specialized apps because we would do that because it seems using AI and using our mobile app and like it would be a no-brainer to kind of, but I don't know what type of functionality it has and how complicated it is. But it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult. And I don't know the cost of those apps would be another thing if we're charging, $20 a person or $50, depending on what the team is or whatever. But yeah, but certainly the phase one is find out who's out there that does that. They have an API. We can do data dumps. So if the sports teams are already using those, and then how we get the data dumped into the Flowbrain, and then it can be integrated. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. I think that's kind of the missing thing out of all this stuff. I think with all that, sounds like we could provide a pretty good consultancy service.
Yes, I believe so. It's just that we have to like when we start launching it, we just like I guess the prior one of the many priorities that we do want, like I do want to stress too, is that um I guess when we get to the front end and the back end development is that we do not want to position ourselves as um a replacement for professional advice. So that's just, that's just one of the biggest things, just so that we don't get into so much trouble, especially when we went over the health portion of things. Especially I know laboratories they're not easily going to give up that information, that data. But again, it's just more of like how we're gonna place ourselves in a way that we only need the analysis of it, because that's what they do. The interpretation that we're doing is we combine what you provide to us, and then we combine it with everything else that we are also offering. That's the only way to get away from this without running into so many troubles with, health violations or whatsoever. So it's not that with health kit samples that we take information, go, oh, here, here's data that the patient is that we've collected from the patient, and this is how we've analyzed it. The problem is that they're not going to give it to us straight up, but in order for us to collect that data, we need to like I said, we need to position ourselves in a way that, oh, we're not really using your interpretation. We're just taking in what you like, the numbers itself, and we plug it into our system that allows us to have a broader interpretation of everything that's going on with the patient or, the athlete. It's not specifically to your interpretation. So, the healthcare provider who does the testing will not get in trouble. And also, we're not going to get in trouble. So, it's very important to, put that in perspective. So, I'm sorry, Claudia. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. So, in your example that you were saying that you're playing football. So, I have a grandson and he's really athletic. He plays all kinds of sports. But he has seizures. So like before practice and before games, he can't take that medicine because it'll trigger it. So like for somebody that like for the data input and output, how would that affect it? Like how, or is there somewhere in there where you would be able to put any type of medication nowadays?
Are you talking about the seizure?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like for the, because he's really athletic. So it's like it's something that he would use.
Exactly. Yeah. So I actually, I did have an intern who's I think she's a pharmacist, Eddie. So I did assign to her a medication management task that allows us to have a deep dive on the medication management and overall and also the adherence. But when it comes to the seizure triggers, I think, it's hard to like really promise anybody
Yeah.
that, oh yeah, this is a solution to everything. But what we can do is that, hypothetically speaking, if Flowbrain is so smart and is able and very perceptive with everything that's going on, that's why we do have all these third-party wearables, right? So, for example, they have the watch, they have the band, they have the water bottle, they have the smart scale, all of these things. That's why we're trying to incorporate all of these assistive devices, sorry, not assistive, these devices, smart devices, in order for us to have a better comprehensive view overall of the user's health. Let's just say that, for example, like I'm gonna use myself an example again. If I use all of those things, I would like at least with Flowbrain and it's storing all those data through Flowbrain, should be able to at least provide a what is it? Um a triggering event like, oh, hey, this your levels of so and so are high. Please be aware you have this precaution. This you're contraindicated to do this. Should you proceed, or would you want to make a better decision, go do something else? Things like that. So it's more like with Flowbrain, with at least with what MoodChanger and Flowbrain is trying to do, is we try to get as much information from multiple data sources. And that includes, like I mentioned, the Flowbrain itself, the devices that we're trying to integrate. The more information that we have, the more we have a better judgment of what's about to happen to the user. Because another intern that we have was I don't want to call her out, but like we have another intern who had stuttering issues. So in her case, that's another what is it? Neurological disorder. So with neurological disorder, things like this, you don't just like, oh, you can control it. You don't know when it's gonna happen, especially when certain things triggers it, but you can't really fully control the environment and also how you feel about certain things. And then before you even know it, you're gonna start stuttering. Same thing with epilepsy. So if there's a neurological trigger and you don't even know what that is, that's where Flowbrain comes in. At least we try, right? Right, we can't promise things, but at least we can try to provide nudges. That's the reason why we do the stress levels. That's why we do the health kit, all this data we're trying to collect. Any elevation away from the baseline could provide us so much information about what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes. That's why Flowbrain is operating, at least, again, at least for on the theoretical standpoint, that is Flowbrain is able to do. Theoretically, it should be able to operate in real time so that we have information of what could potentially happen in the next 30 minutes based from your if there's going to be changes in your neurological activity. Did you wake up with like feeling groggy, or did you feel like, oh, so you probably had gotten yourself exposed to strobe lights, for example. You had not known. You're driving somewhere and then you somehow ended up that sudden flush of light. It's middle of the night and you're driving, that sudden flash of light triggers
Yeah.
epileptic seizures.
So
So
that
there's
would be,
yeah.
I'm sorry. That would be like neurological, but as far as it giving like data for him, like for physical health when he's
Mm-hmm.
playing, like, is that going to interpret that also? Or not necessarily like that he has seizures, but like, is it gonna, like, how does it know, like, it's not gonna give the same information to him as what you should do than to
Mm-hmm.
somebody else? And I do understand you said that it would have like a baseline on it, but that would be neurological. So like, would it be able to tell that he's taking medicine for his brain and not for his body?
Are you trying to separate the brain and the body too,
Yeah.
or are we talking? Okay, so for the body part, with stress levels, that's why we talked about the hormonal level scores. The things that Jaren had, sorry, not Jaren, Gowan had showed us earlier. If any of those numbers starts to hit a certain mark, because it's more focused on your physical health,
Right.
your food, your stress level, your quality of sleep, how long were you exposed under the sun? How long has it been, like, what time did you wake up? When did the sun rise? When did the sun set? All these things could impact your physical health as well. But we can't really separate physical health with neurological because they're just like
Right.
this. Yeah.
Right.
So in terms of like, with the overall health aspect, that's the reason why we're trying to integrate multiple sources of data, regardless of where it is, to better have a better picture that not only the patient or sorry, the athlete or whoever you are, have access to this, but this could potentially also can be used as a real-time documentation that a professional can review. So we're like I said, I keep stressing this throughout the beginning and also to this all this time that we are not trying to replace any medical health advice, but we do have the capacity to provide a more comprehensive data that is typically not talked about in doctor's office.
So
So
like the data that you guys are gathering right now is to create the product, but like say if he were to purchase it and use it, it would calculate his baseline. Is that the intent?
yeah, good question. So with baseline, sorry, everybody, this is very Um, I know if you're interested in learning more about this, feel free to stay, but this is very interesting to talk about. But when we're talking about baseline, it's tricky because everybody's baseline could either be unhealthy or healthy, right? If you have a existing diagnosis, your baseline might look different versus somebody who has who's been generally healthy, right? So with baseline, yes, we do have biomarkers or the biometrics that we can follow through. Everything is based from whichever field we're talking about. It may be from cardiopulmonary ranges, like healthy ranges. We also have the what is it? Just in general, blood volume, all these things. We do have ranges that are considered normal, right? But let's just say a diabetic person would not have the same normal range, but they're fine. It's just that they have slightly elevated baseline than the rest of, the rest of the population. So with that said, baseline could look different from people to people, and they could be normal, they could not be normal. But what we can do is we really respect what the healthcare guidelines for what is normal, but also take into consideration that specific individual's healthy base.
Variables.
Yeah. So for example, I'm diabetic. I keep using myself, but let's say I'm diabetic, but I would have slightly elevated blood sugar, or probably even throughout the day I would start dropping sugar levels at some point of the day, things like that. You see, you can't really have a specific number. It really depends on the day and what you have taken, you know. So that's the reason why we have that a plate, like something that records these things and allows us to make a judgment of the average. That's the best way, taking the average. Because if you move away from the average, that could be a concerning. But again, we only provide an alert probably to the user that, oh, here you have slightly deviated away from your baseline, which is the average that I was talking about earlier. But that's not necessarily saying that, oh, you need to, this is what you're gonna do, blah, 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 blah. You still need to go to the doctor type of thing. It's just, providing advice, recommendation, feedback on what's going on with that person's life. Every minute counts because every minute counts. So that's just one of the examples. Hope that answers your questions.
But yes, it's kind of complicated.
It is very complicated, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you.
Of course. Anybody else? Sorry, it took a while to explain that.
Well, we're just over time here, so I just want to I don't know if anybody else has any feedback, please, chime in. But if not, what I wanted to, I know Gayon, she just left. She's working. She has as part of her task a number of sports teams that she's going to be reaching out to. I also have a close friend of mine I mentioned. He's the general secretary of the Bulgarian Biathlon Federation. He used to be the coach, I think, of the women's and assistant for the men's biathlon national team. And they were in Italy recently at the the Olympics. But so we pitched him with the MoodChanger team about a year ago, maybe over a year ago. I can't recall exactly when. So um, uh, as soon as the websites, the next version of MoodChanger and the other site, athletic performance updates are done, I want to send him those and try and set up a meeting. I think he's going to join us on a Sunday. I was thinking maybe he could join us at the beginning of one of the MoodChanger meetings. So since everybody is going to be here, and maybe we can go through the first half, maybe for an hour, and review, kind of pitch him, and like we would a normal customer, and get his feedback on what we're doing, and that would give us a lot of insights. I mean, he's at the national team, Olympic team level. So when we met with him about a year ago, he was explaining, I mean, they have their wearables, of course. They use Polar, I think is the watch that they use, and they also have kind of monitor for heart, and the only AI that they were using at the time was at the shooting range. There was a special shooting range that they would go to once a year, and they would shoot, and there was the AI would help coach them, because it had other people that had been at the shooting range, I guess is how it worked. But when we presented to him, he's like, "Oh, we probably always have an AI, like when our athletes are shooting. 'Cause biathlon is cross country skiing and shooting." Um, So yeah. So I don't know when the sites are done, but I'd like in the next couple of weeks get him, to join our meeting, if that makes sense to you, Kim.
Do you want, well, I understand that you would want this person to join our meetings. Is there anything that you would particularly would want to share with him? Do you mean to just like share with him when it comes to what we've been doing with the API, or are we just basically asking questions for him? How do you want to
We would pitch him as a prospect if he would be interested in using our consulting services, and this is what we're providing, um, and then get his feedback.
I mean, that sounds good because I think we've been ready. We have the presentation. We're just still in the development phase of everything. So, I think we can definitely, have him probably join us. Probably like I'll have to talk to Gallon too in regards to this if, we can potentially like do, the back and forth with presenting this, just so if, somehow, that person that have any questions or any feedback about the whole plan for the athletic performance intelligence, um, that would be a really valuable feedback that we can take into consideration moving forward.
Okay. Well, do we know, I guess, Jaren, if the MoodChanger website, the new updated version, and I guess you're going to be working on launching the new sports athlete performance website. Um, so maybe if maybe by Wednesday, or our design team meeting, if they can be done by then I can send him those and see maybe the 2 weeks from now on the 17th, see if he can join us.
I am not the one who's working on MoodChanger website, but I'll reach out to, I think it was Diksha last time I saw. I will reach out to her and let her know.
Yeah, Diksha and Sandeep, yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds good. That's what we'll plan then. Hopefully they can update those. And Kim, did Diksha get the MoodChanger website that she was working on to you to review?
Um, I have not spoken to Diksha at all. And I don't know. It's my first time hearing about this.
Okay, well, Mohammed, yeah, in the future, probably what we want is since we have some designers in the MoodChanger team, have the designers that are in this team working on the websites that are pertain to this team. So Claudia, Jaren, and you, Mohammed, are the three of you are on the design team. So we've got three design team members here. And that would make more sense since they're here in these meetings every week and they're in the design meetings every week rather than having a non-MoodChanger designer working on that. So, okay, well, I think that sounds good. And I guess Kim, also think about Flowbrain, Flow Health. Let's and I think in the past we discussed about Claude has health, OpenAI has OpenAI Health or ChatGPT for health, and they've made some acquisitions already. And I think I recall something like 30% or some really high number. Their number one category of people chatting with ChatGPT was health related queries. So so that's pretty interesting that everybody's asking about health related stuff. So it's a perfect fit for us to have Flowbrain Health or Flow Health. And what does Flow Health Buddy look like? And so we want to start fleshing that out in this team. And of course, we're working also on the Sally and Aya are working. I asked Aya to actually work on the analytics and what the UI would look like. I thought that would be a better use of time, let's say, because she's kind of a data person and she's did the research on the others and what theirs looks like rather than taking what she's doing and handing it off to designer that's not really familiar with what these systems look like and what the analytics and what the visualization is supposed to look like. Even though she's not a designer, using Claude Design now, as we saw with the advancements of Claude Design, and that's what Sandeep was using. We could probably have non-designers prompting designs together. So yeah, so that's the only other thing that I wanted to make sure that we're kind of looking at how that's going to look and what those visualizations are going to be looking like. But once we have, Flowbrain launched, we really want to have, that our AI will be Flowbrain. So how do we start to, what's our version 1 of Flow Health, or what are we going to be able to launch? Like we kind of need a product roadmap. What's things that we plan to do over time, and basically with Sandeep, the vision, we discussed, and what the idea was for Flowbrain, and so he prompted that into existence, and it's although it's kind of a longer term vision, I think it's a good way to go to have more, okay, this is like the long term vision. We want it, to have your health records, and we want it to have this, and we want it to have that. And let's get that visualization put together so we know what that's going to look like, however long it's going to take, what the vision is behind the Flow Health. And then we can back into it and say, okay, well, what are all the features of Flow Health? and then start identifying the features and functionality, and then we can prioritize those features and functionality to know which ones we're going to be working on first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. Because a lot of people, I don't think, like as I would explain the vision of Flowbrain, it was probably, most people probably didn't really understand it when I explained it. Yeah, I want kind of like Discord and chat and video with rooms and combined with an AI. And I don't, I mean, I kind of visualized it, but I don't know if others did. And I think that's probably maybe the right way to go, is building the prototype, the UI like that.
Yeah, I think I can kind of resonate with that when sometimes some visions are mistranslated throughout, through communication or whatsoever. I think it's really like I agree with you. Having a prototype probably would be the easiest way to, provide a feedback on real time, just to make sure that, oh, there are certain features within the vision that could be um fixed or modified depending on, the vision itself. So I think having an actual product or prototype, at least a prototype, would be able to allow us to save more time, in a sense, rather than having to talk about it like theoretically and trying to figure out how to do it. So probably having to have the actual prototype would help eliminate the confusion in some way, because now we're focusing on the actual feedback based on the what is already present. So that's just my thoughts on that, but yeah.
Yeah, Mohammed, you have any thoughts? I know you were chatting, sending some chat messages. Um,
Yes, Mr. John. Things I talked about, like the baseline, how gonna be the baseline for every individual using the app that we're gonna use. For example, people who have DM, for example. The normal range for the normal person, the healthy one, is from 70 to 140 or 160. For the people who have like the DM, like the first type or the second type, it depends. Like the first type, if it comes to 200, it's okay. This is like in the normal range for your body. But for other people, it differs from one to other one. So how we gonna get this information from the records that we're gonna have, like the medical history that we're gonna have from everyone, every customer, every user. So that's what I was talking about. Even for people who have seizures, biopsy, physically, no way. You can't determine this person gonna have like a seizure after 2 minutes or what. It's no way. You don't have this kind of control to know that. But what we can use, like as Dr. Kim said, from the history of this person, like yeah, he had epilepsy or some kind of seizures. He had it like in his history. So this kind of, you can say, like insights you can have within the app. So, for example, of if he has like the fatigue, his body has like fatigue, or he didn't sleep well. So, yeah, today you might have seizures. So, this kind of what I'm talking about. The people who have DKA, like for example, like ketoacidosis or heart failure or a lot of diseases. All of them depends on your history. As Dr. Kim said, we were not going to be a replacement for the medical advisors, doctors. No, we're gonna provide the aid for the user and them also. How we gonna provide this? By taking the history, the baseline, like the fatigues, the stress level, all of this information. So this is what I was talking about exactly. And also, I need to mention something. MoodChanger, Diksha, actually, she made the new website, but she didn't send me the repo yet. after she send me the repo of the website that she create, I'm gonna publish it. Then I'm gonna provide Dr. Kim the link for this website. And yeah, basically that's what I was talking about.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Okay, great. Hey. Anybody else? Thoughts, questions, comments?
Yes, I have a question. What are the next steps? Like, what are the next tasks or you are working on currently? So how can I contribute to the team?
Um, so sorry, remind me again, which team are you part in right now in here in FloLabs? Just remind me. I forget what you said.
Automation and backend.
Backend. Okay. Um, what you can contribute for now, I believe, is with Sally. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember there's a whole list that I have, developed, not developed, but like assigned to the rest of the data analytics team and also for the sports sub team as well. Do you have any updates? Before I get to your question, by the way, Basil, I just wanted to check it with Sally real quick. Sally, with in regards to the health kit roadmap, do we have any updates on that?
For the health kit, there doesn't seem to be an update, but I have prepared a documentation for this. So it was actually absent, so it couldn't be body system work. So I just prepared it. But apart from that, we were also supposed to work on an application, a mobile application, where you can just take the photo of a person, and so the app can analyze their weights and like some kind of analytics there. So yeah. It also requires some backend knowledge as well as the mobile, but for the mobile part, we can easily use something like a Flutter Flow for the prototype, or maybe just first word with Flutter Flow, then we can improve it. So yeah, uh, there were some similar tasks like this, and also we were also while working on the like dashboard action, so where we interpret the data analytics results. Like we actually talked about like how to calculate some metrics and what are they, how do we calculate it. So we were going to just interpret this data using an LLM, so a specialized LLM. So there was also such a task. We actually have a demo, but it will be improved. So yeah, for backend stuff, you can also be assigned for these tasks.
Okay, thank you for the update, Sally. I think for just the back end development, because you do have that experience, Basil, I think you are most likely going to be, working with some of the projects with the data analytics team because they mainly work on those stuff for the most part. And the current things that we're working on right now, there's multiple. There's a movement data that we've initially started, Sally, remember? We also have the current one, which is the health kit. Um, since Aya is not here today to present that, and the rest of the other teams are not here as well, including Kendra. What's his name? Anthony's not here too. Safe is not here. So I'm sorry you didn't get to see as much of their updates because just by pure chance they're not here. So if you want, you can attend the next meeting just to see what they have been working on and see what you can potentially contribute as. And also, I will share with you the tasks that they're assigned to so that you have a better idea of what they're working on. I think that's the best way to do it right now because just for the sake of respecting your time as well and, trying to see where you see yourself fit in this whole, there's just so many projects going on right now. That's why it's a little, you know, yeah, we try our best. So I think that's the best way to go about it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and Basil, once we have the flow health, um, I think that's where you could be helpful on the back end of flow health, because we have the designers here for the front end, and then we'll have all of the stuff in Flow Health will be integrations on the back end. So thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed the meeting here, and we're glad to have you on the team.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. It's Sunday, so Monday again tomorrow. So thank you guys for sharing your task and also for being as proactive and interactive throughout the whole meeting today. It's really wonderful seeing you guys today. So we'll catch up next week. Try to keep up with your assigned task. Feel free to ask me any questions or me, Sally, Mohammed for anything in general in regards to literally everything at this point. Try your best and we'll update each other throughout the week, and then hopefully everything should be in place in the next couple weeks, especially with the website and hopefully Flowbrain. Hopefully Flowbrain. But anyways, thank you and have a great rest of your day.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
Bye.